if I take the case for Africa, I mean, the challenges have been growing. We used to talk only about the infrastructure gap, I mean, poverty, etc. 100 billion plus around 100 billion deficit per year. There is the climate commitments, and I think that those climate commitments were around 100 billion per year. They have not materialized. So all of these are growing, and we're not seeing the resources in there. But here, what MDBs are saying is we are not asking necessarily for a general capital increase, which is basically some kind of a donation, but give us a loan and we will put that money to use and we will return that money back to you, and it's going to be at no cost to your taxpayer. So which is why we really found it's been more than a year that we've been I think about 2 years that we've been working on this, but to us, it was essential to bring MDBs to the fore just because of the role that they have and the solution that we can bring to the table and help make a difference. The solution for Africa's development, for the world's development, is not going to lie only with MDBs. Everybody will have to be part of that story.
SDRs represent an opportunity to tap into global reserves in a gentle way. Global reserves amount to about $14 trillion. The kinds of recycling we're talking about, $100 billion, is small. It's a small part of the global reserve pool. If that can be put to good use, and we're not saying, the great thing about the AFDB proposal is they're not spending the SDRs. They're using the SDRs as capital to leverage resources for private markets and lend those resources. So you're using the SDRs to tap into the power of private markets in order to get this transformation to happen. And the genius of the African Development Bank and the other MDBs is they can be patient at the capital. They don't have that need that the private market has for quick return.
The benefits of making this work are really huge. This could be a model, if the Africa Bank can maybe do it first, which makes sense because the Africa Bank is very capital constrained. It could become a model for other MDBs, which could be really transformative. And so I think the prize is really worth fighting for, and that's why we're, as UK, we're really proactively exploring with the Africa Bank how we could make this work.
The reason why the Africa Bank proposal is so important is there are many things the private sector can't do. There's a lot they can do, and they're essential, but there's a lot of climate resilience, economic resilience, development resilience. And resilience, of course, isn't just about buildings. It's about communities being resilient, institutions being resilient. And they often don't have revenue streams for the private sector to really take advantage. So we need the African Development Bank, we need the Africa Bank, we need multilateral development banks to play a traditional development bank role.
It's been more than a year since the 100 billion target was set. There have been 60 billion of pledges. There was 80 billion of pledges, but Congress did fail to appropriate 20 billion. In terms of SDRs that have actually arrived in countries, the number is 0. So I think we should be very aware of that, and we need to kind of push for speeding that up, both through the IMF facilities, but also through this FDB facility. And I think there's something really important about, we shouldn't forget the political economy of a lot of this, and there is stigma associated with a country going to the IMF for resources. That does not apply with multilateral development banks like the FDB. So I think there's a huge number of reasons why this makes a huge amount of sense. But ultimately, the world is not bereft of good ideas. The world is bereft of the political capital to implement them. And I think the big thing that we need to do is to kind of get better at articulating why the needs are increasing so dramatically, and why we have these solutions, and why it's an absolute no-brainer that decision makers should be kind of pushing this through at speed.
There is a strong consensus on the importance of SDR recycling and making sure that actually those SDRs get in the hands of the MDBs, particularly the AFDB. And talking about the AFDB, I think I certainly sense that all of the panelists were also very much appreciative of the quality of the proposal that Hassatu made at the beginning of this panel. So I think this is very much reassuring, and it was also very heartening to hear from Hassatu that there are some progress actually being noted in their discussion with the IMF. So we look forward to more progress and decisive progress being made on that front. I certainly also agree with what some of the panelists panelists said, Mark actually indicated the areas where SDR recycling could be helpful, whether it's to tackle pandemics or whether it's to tackle climate change. If we are able to use the source of innovative financing like the SDRs and make sure that it actually sort of benefit MDBs like IFDB, certainly we can actually address that type of very sad realities that some of the developing countries are living through, including in our continent here.